we should focus on week 2, and we're off.
Here we go. And we're Divergent starts, 300 at Link's house, and a heart piece in St.
Yeah, that 300 rupee count will basically give you all the rupees you would want for your early game, and
yeah, that's
put
real
super
nice.
high priorities on the bomb farm.
Do you have a preference? Oh, let's see. We got a map check. It looked like the green pendant was at Hera.
That was definitely a pennant up there with the 2 other crystals. You see a pretty nice 20 rupee triple here.
Yeah, not hurting for money early, that's for sure.
Okay, I have not seen what Illus just did, taking that sign to kill a guard before going into Lost Woods. Definitely slower to go into the woods that way, but it's the only way to get a guaranteed kill before going there.
Yeah. How about early gloves? That's nice.
Yeah, well, we may just see straight to the back of Escape at this point. Also, wow, Hoarder with a bomb. This is a very nice seed. Open mode tends to be very rough early on because there's no real good route, but they're just getting everything they need before Kakariko here.
Yeah, that's generous. Money and bombs. You couldn't ask for more.
I would ask for a bottle if you could get that as well for Sick Kid and, well,
Sure.
Boots, because Boots.
Yeah, if we get, if I'm asking for real anything, it's definitely the boots, but I'll take money and bombs just to start us off with. And SuperNinTaylor is going to check the back of Escape already.
And this tends to be a very high priority check to do because it's your first real dig into the sphere logic, but this time it doesn't really pay off. But at some point you'll be going there anyway.
I was really hoping for a third shield there in the back of Escape.
I completely missed that I was actually a double shield back there. Well,
yeah, double shield. I was really hoping for a third one.
I have seen the triple shield in a row before, so it wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, it's keeping stacking up on the bombs. Early Moon Pearl with glove. I don't know. I've seen a lot of mid Dark World seeds, but I'm hoping for a hammer here.
Yeah, we might see very early Dark World access.
Yeah, we've had those actually just earlier this week. We had a 5-minute Dark World access in Kakariko Seed, which was pretty crazy.
I think that was with mitts too. That makes it a little bit more scary. But a hammer would be nice right here. Let's see if we find anything in the well here.
Yeah, there's still a lot of checks left here early on. Basically just items to aim towards getting access into the Dark World, because besides that, they don't have anything at all. I mean, bombs are a weapon, but you don't really use them as a weapon. Lamp?
Lamp is one of those interesting things. It usually unlocks something. Is it Aga? Is it Death Mountain? What is it unlocking when you get at this?
I think we may maybe see a save and quit to Sanctuary, check the Bonk Rocks, check what's on Lumberjack, and then just go straight up to Death Mountain after that. It's all in logic. It's the most effective way to check Lumberjack, and at this point you have to worry a little bit with the Lamp and Boots that early.
Sure, yeah.
But these 2 items just kind of threw the seed a little bit all over the place, because the glove didn't really point towards that, but fascinating. Well, Illus doesn't have the glove though, so we'll see when he picks that up.
Yeah, he'll get it. He'll probably get it sooner than later. Why can't I play a seed like this? I wish I was playing this seed.
Oh, you know, it's rando. Well, we may actually see a standard dash over to the shovel spot and then just walk over to the dam. I'm not sure if that's faster or not.
Nah, I think it's faster. I think it's still faster to save and quit. Well, I guess with the boots, I'm not sure. I never have the boots this early, so.
I mean, SuperNinTaylor sitting on 600 rupees at 4.5 minutes, has Moon Pearl, can set up walk on water glitch, do everything over there. Looks like a pretty solid option for him.
Yeah, for sure. It might take Illus a little while to get that glove, honestly. I don't know when he goes to escape. Imagine he's waiting for a weapon or something to make sure that he can get through all of escape.
Yeah, escape is a pretty long check. You don't really want to do it with bombs unless you absolutely have to, even though there's been plenty of bombs early on this seed. He still has other checks to do, and right now the gloves aren't really locking him behind anything.
Right. Well, shout out to Skippy for the subscription. Thanks for the 2 months. We really appreciate that.
This is definitely an explosive opening with all those bombs.
Yeah, definitely not a bomb shortage.
Yeah, all these rupees and bombs so early on, and you have the necessity to just do the Sora play. It seems like the most obvious course of action. It is a sequence break for Illus, but that is still a sequence break because it doesn't have lock.
Yeah, but we know that it is technically in logic for. But with those boots, it makes water walking that much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, bombs are the only weapon for the Smoldorn cave, so I'm hoping to get a double over there on the left side of the Moldorn side to play nice. Well, the Moldorns also drop bombs, so I guess they do work very nice today, except for that one.
Yeah, only 4 bombs, that's nice. Well, ready for the Dark World.
Hammer Darkworld access at about 6.5 minutes. Not quite, because Ila still needs to pick up the glove, but yeah.
Yeah, but with the hammer now. The hammer is going to send him towards Uncle, now that he has a weapon to do escape. So I imagine after possibly doing the water checks, which I probably would do with all the money that you have and the boots, make some pretty quick sequence break. I'm guessing he'll head over to Uncle, get his glove, and we'll possibly see what's in Zelda cell.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also has the lamp, so for him, he could just walk through the escape sequence, maybe look for gloves in the back. He will get the gloves before that, though, from Uncle. There's also the thing that trying to go back to the Sora area after this is going to take a long time. And they're a nice, simple sword to aid with the boots. It's going to make the Dark World quite a lot safer.
Yeah, it stinks not having a sword when you have boots, because you want to just dash everywhere, and that sword makes it possible. So he sets up the water walk, and he's going to have to just jump down from here.
Still, this is a 4-heart green mail Dark World. Not particularly nice.
Not nice, but I know that Illus has played a lot of inverted, so he's pretty used to it. And SuperNinTaylor's a really good runner, so it's not going to be a problem for him. Shouldn't be, as I jinx the runner.
I mean, that's what we sometimes do here in this position, but SuperNinTaylor is just following through with the same route here.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if SuperNinTaylor goes to escape, because he might just head to the Dark World from after getting his sword.
I don't think we can completely write up the opportunity to go up to Death Mountain just to get the save and quit point up there, and also that it is a little bit deep into the logic as well because you have access to it.
Yeah, they might just go to Hype Cave.
Yeah, Hype Cave is the go-to spot. 5 items that generally has nothing, but it also gives you opportunities when you're done with it. Do you want to go left? Do you want to go right? Instead of just starting a Village of Outcasts where you basically force yourself to go do those checks there.
So I didn't see anything at Hobo. I didn't see anything on the island that's going to haunt Illus this time. He's going to check the Waterfall Ferry and get 20 rupees and a piece of heart. SuperNinTaylor setting up the water walk as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty linear opening for both of the players here. Not really much to say, but when they're done with these routes, that's when the interesting things will start to happen.
All right, so water check's not getting us anything, but it's nice to have those out of the way.
Considering the entire Dark World is open, didn't really seem that possible that Sora was going to have something as well, and we are seeing Illus making the play up to escape.
Yeah, this makes the most sense. The only other place he could go would be Eastern, and that doesn't really make sense right now. Get his gloves, and we'll see if he wants to do the rest of Escape.
Yeah, Eastern tends to be a last location option, especially if it's such a valuable crystal as 5/6 and you don't have both. SuperNinTaylor having trouble here getting into the portal. Does manage to get in the end. Here's the question, will Illus keep on going here? He is going to do that, so seeing this through to the end.
Yeah, it makes sense to go check out the rest of Escape. You're here. It's, phase. It's there's 3 items, I think, in the... Actually, we haven't seen the key, and we haven't seen the map, so there's going to be only 2 left between the back of Escape, or excuse me, the front of Escape, and then the cross T room.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how he's gonna route it. If he's just gonna go through the dark rooms, or if he's gonna save and quit and just check the 3 in the back after Zelda cell. As for SuperNinTaylor, there's his map check. I kinda expect him to just go into the dark world here.
Yeah.
Keeps up the heart for extra safety. It definitely seems to be an indicator to go into the dark world, and that one rock there has a 50% chance of giving a bomb, so that's why he lifted it up.
Alright, so there's the map. We've got the key and 1 more item in Escape. There's a strong possibility that the key could just be in the Dark Cross.
So, wonder when SuperNinTaylor is gonna go for a map check. That's the big thing to look for here, is trying to figure out how the seed is gonna look.
So far in the league, Hype Cave has not been hyped. Let's see if this stays true. Half magic's nice.
I mean, I'll just take half magic and fire rod and say hello, Skullwoods, maybe?
Yes. We don't know if it's a pendant or not, or a crystal or not, but we'll see. That's pretty hype.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We do see Illus just, after Zelda's chest, just goes to the back to check the 3 locations immediately.
Let's see if we're going to get a Dark World map check soon.
And he doesn't have the key, so this is a vanilla small key in the Dark Cross room.
Okay. Just 10 arrows from Stumpy. And Illus going to make his way towards the Dark World now, I imagine.
Yeah, otherwise here you would go to Sank.
Yeah, sometimes you see runners start from Sanctuary and go towards the Village of Outcast area. It looks like Illus is going to do Hype Cave first as well, which will be good because you get that Fire Rod, get the half magic. You should be able to complete Skullwoods. Let's see if Illus gives us a Dark World map check.
Gonna see SuperNinTaylor here with a particularly long digging segment here for, well, it's a pretty nice blue map. Well, Pendant Thieves Town, I guess the seed is James.
Pendant Thieves Town, Pendant, Ice Palace, and I think Misery Mire was the other 5/6.
I think you're right on that. I mean, still, Skullwoods Crystal seems like a pretty obvious destination at this point.
How dirty is that shirt?
That's a good question. I guess not dirty enough.
All right, have we checked Bonk Rocks? Is this our first look at Bonk Rocks?
I think it's first. Away with the dirt, I guess. That's pretty interesting. Well, SuperNinTaylor may actually just opt for the Death Mountain play at this point before going into Dark World. Also, Illus, Pyramid Catfish?
Now, that's an interesting route. I think just trying to do a little bit of divergence, and Aga is...
Aga is kaput.
This might just be, a little bit of confirmation bias. Lately, it seems like Catfish has had progression in a lot of the league seeds. So, Illus might just have that on the mind. Get it out of the way. Don't let it linger. See if it's there.
it's also the kind of location that it's unlikely that your opponent is going to check it this early. So
Yeah.
if it is something important, like the bow for Eastern Pod back-to-back, it's going to be quite invaluable.
Yeah, it's a small gamble, and it could turn out to be something that's really big.
Yeah, and even just hookshot or mirror to get that full Death Mountain access would be pretty nice as well. As SuperNinTaylor here enters the Dark World at Village of Outcasts.
Catfish, just a piece of heart. Surprised SuperNinTaylor didn't go up to Skull Woods and just complete it. I don't think he's done a map check yet, though.
Yeah, I don't think he has done that yet, so I guess this is why he's going with this route. I will expect him to make the check before going to Thieves Town, though. Illus will likely follow through here. He could also make the call up to Death Mountain, but...
yeah, it doesn't... I mean, it's one check, or just like 2 checks over all of Village of Outcasts, Skull Woods, and, a completable Skull Wood. Maybe just get the save point, though, by rescuing the old man.
Yeah, that's always something to consider. He's also gonna get the Aga 1 info here, that Aga 1 is in fact dead. And as chat does point out, 5 Heart Mothula isn't a very nice fight. And they have no safety whatsoever, no bottles, no invulnerability items.
And SuperNinTaylor kept that map check. He saved it for the very last second before he entered Thieves Town.
And it's a Thieves Town with a map in the first chest, so this may be a very empty first 4. But Illus is also forgoing Death Mountain for now and heading into the Dark World. I mean, it's the first bottle, you're not really gonna say no to that. Will it be a second night?
Yeah,
see
the
what
doubles. What was in the first bottle? Was it also a B?
Yeah, 2 Bs.
Nice. All right, Illus making the play for Skull Woods here.
Yeah, and SuperNinTaylor is going for Dependent Thieves Town. It's a very intriguing decision. There's 2 items left in the back at this point. Meanwhile, Illus making a bit more clear choice of going into a crystal dungeon that you can full clear. Also be taking a look at our very first hint here. I'll say there's been some really good hints as of late. Never mind. It is a very empty Skull Woods here for Illus. I have to go a little bit deeper to try and look for those 2 items as SuperNinTaylor is continuing through Thieves Town. You would much rather have something more than just 20 rupees at this point to make this call worth it. Thing is still that with Fire Rod Hammer you have 2 very powerful weapons early on, but in terms of locations that they unlock right now, it's quite minor. So if we look at potential plays following Skull Woods, Thieves Town, if they don't have anything, we're looking at like Pod, Eastern, going back to the Death Mountain that was spoken of earlier. None of those seem quite appealing. Now, SuperNinTaylor does have a bottle if he wants to bottle glitch to skip the bow requirement over in Palace of Darkness, but he will need to fill that up with something. And it is, of course, the potential that it could just be you don't have a small key. SuperNinTaylor, you forgot the small key is locked in there. You do have the bottle for Sick Kid as maybe progression, sort of, perhaps. We're gonna see Illus here do a Fighter Sword Mothula. The half magic Fire Rod here is absolutely invaluable. Just using the Fire Rod exclusively here, the Fighter Sword is very, very weak. That's a pretty good fight considering the circumstance he was in. And SuperNinTaylor is gonna try and get the script here. Piece of Heart from Mothula, so that's not where the progression lies. Okay, was this Thieves Town worth it for SuperNinTaylor? Well, unless a bottle has something, or if this is a pet seed, that was a lot of time for not very much. But of course, Illus could just as well make the same call to go in there. It seems like they are being funneled towards Palace of Darkness, Death Mountain, Eastern Palace. Bumper Cave is also dead. May just be, as people are pointing out in chat, did Illus just skip the chest in the back, or was there an item early on? I think there was just the big chest here, or the big key here in the first, and then that led to a small key. Or did he get both items? So was there an item here on the left side of Skullwoods? Maybe there was. Oh, we'll see if Illus is gonna make the call into Thieves Town. Yeah, okay. Skullwoods, empty. Thieves Town, 2 bottles with bees in them. Okay, let's bring this down. We do have Sick Kid as potential progression. We have Sahaswala, Eastern Palace, Palace of Darkness, Death Mountain. I think that's about... Oh yeah, Gina's Cave. Everyone forgets about the Gina's Cave. None of those options are very appealing, let's just say it like that. You will want to stay in the Dark World for as long as possible before you go back and check Sick Kid, because then you have to return back into the Dark World after that, because you don't have the easy transition with the mirror. So the question is, how deep will Illus go here? Is he gonna take a Death Warp, or is he gonna keep on going for 2 more items? Well, I guess he's going. For SuperNinTaylor, there is also the back of Escape. Or not the back of Escape, the main portion of Escape to Zelda's cell, because he hasn't checked that while Illus has. But that's not many items for quite a lot of time. Boots does help, but it's quite early on in terms of the sphere logic, so it may not be as nice to go back there. Time for SuperNinTaylor here to do the Mothula fight. He will have red mail for this, a little bit safer on his part. And he's opting for Hammer over Fire Rod. He's for 1 hit now, moving over. Oh, actually doing menu swapping here between the Hammer and the Fire Rod, depending on Mothula's position. And, well, that was an absolutely fantastic fight for SuperNinTaylor, no problem at all. Also showcasing the increased damage from the Hammer over the Fire. And here is the big question. SuperNinTaylor, where are you going now?
It's really surprising how empty Skullwoods and Thieves Town were.
Oh yeah, and welcome back. But yeah, well, basically just those 2 bottles in Thieves Town, nothing in Skullwoods, and they haven't got anything else.
It's also surprising that they both chose to do all of Thieves Town.
I guess it just comes down to the lack of good options right now. Eastern Pod, just 2 checks up on Death Mountain, doesn't seem very appealing. Aegina is far off.
Yeah. But it's that 1 check, right? Are you going to last location it, or are you going to check it and he has... The question is, what is the next progression item?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's something that's gonna open up more of Death Mountain, like the mirror or the hookshot at this point, or
the mitts. There you go.
Huh.
So well, the mitts don't really open up anything right now. It's King's Tomb, I guess.
There's the Smith Chain. I mean, that gives a reason to go back to Kakariko to hand over or show the bottle for Sick Kid and then enter the Dark World and commence with the Smith Chain after that.
It's just 300 rupees on the top of Spectacle Rock there.
Well, maybe this hint in here is a little bit more valuable than the one that was inside of Thieves Town. Also, this was a seed that gave you Dark World access via both Mips and Hammer.
Yeah, that's right.
And that hint, of course, was referring to Ice Rod Cave, and they've already been there and picked up the sword. Now Illus still has to do the digging game, visit Stumpy, pick up the red mail.
Yeah, he'll get his dirty red shirt.
I mean, it's basically just the Smith game, unless you want to have a lot of fun and sequence break into Pendant Ice Palace.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible, terrible idea. Eastern seems like a strong play. You've got 3 items there. You've got the back of Sasha's cloth.
It's a minimum of 5 items, possibly that you will get all 6. There is, of course, a small fear that you will have to double dip this, and Illus looks to be making the same call. Or didn't he check the island earlier? I think he did. Okay, so he's buying a bottle here for Palace of Darkness.
That makes sense. That cave actually opens up Spike Cave, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention, Cane of Burn opens up Spike Cave. They have half magic. There's nothing that prevents them from going through there.
And Illus want to double check that island didn't have anything.
Sometimes just gotta make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into.
So the only real difference between the runners is Illus has checked the front of escape, whereas SuperNinTaylor rescued the old man, right? That's our only divergence.
They've done the same apart from that. It's always good to start off with an item in Eastern.
I'd almost be tempted to do what Illus is doing and check Pod over Eastern. Well, there you go. Never mind. That's going to work out a little bit better for SuperNinTaylor, I guess.
Yeah, that mirror is pretty good for that entire Death Mountain access. Would have been pretty good to have before you made your first trip into the Dark World, because there's some out there locations now like Graveyard Ledge and south of Grove Cave that is a little bit out of the way and difficult to check. Of course, it will definitely help with the Smith chain that you unlocked via the myths.
I don't know if you saw that. Illus was actually a rupee short, killed that enemy, and actually got 1 rupee. So he has exactly 110 rupees.
That's just the right luck. Just the right luck in the right time. Yeah, right now SuperNinTaylor with the added myths and the added mirror looks like he's in a pretty good position right now. If Illus can find anything here in Palace of Darkness, like the bow in the first chest or something crazy like that, just swing the entire seat around.
Yeah. Because SuperNinTaylor has most of the Death Mountain, both light and dark, now available to him.
Yeah, it's just Hookshot Cave, really.
So if you're rooting for Illus, you want him to find something like the bow or the hookshot here.
Yeah, the bow would be the better option here because of the ability to do Eastern Pod back-to-back. We'll lead him into Eastern, we'll give him the mirror.
Yeah, that's true.
Which will send him up to Death Mountain, and that will give him the myths.
Did SuperNinTaylor check King's Tomb? Because I missed that if he did.
He did. That's 2 keys in the early 3, soon 4 chests.
And how much of Hera do you do? It is a green pendant.
Well, if you need the basement, I say you leave. Also, some caches in the swamp, that's very useful.
Yeah.
But the main gist of it seems to be, especially in this position where you just unlocked a ton of spot, unless this is a big key.
Oh, wow.
You leave.
Yeah. Alright, so Ill's going to potion glitch his way through Palace of Darkness here, since he doesn't have the... He does have 1 key, which means the back, I believe, is open.
Yeah. Are they still sequence breaking over here to get at least 1 key?
And 50 rupees. Just 10 arrows on the floating island there.
Now I do wonder how NinTaylor is routing this, because normally you go down to the bottom and by doing Spike Cave. Not Spike Cave, Spiral Cave, and then you can always mirror back and forth for the checks, but he's just checking that medallion for Turtle Rock immediately.
Alright, so we need Ether Medallion.
And so far, so nothing in this Palace of Darkness. Not working out at all for Illus.
Yeah, that's the 3rd item, and just a piece of heart.
You know, I love it when the seed puts the medallion for Turtle Rock in the cave right next to Turtle Rock. I feel like it happens way too often. Since you will need to go back and forth between the Dark World and Light World to open up Turtle Rock, I don't expect that hint to be checked right now, unless he does get the King of Samaria here in a Paradox Cave or something like that.
Yeah.
We're gonna see an attempted hover here by SuperNinTaylor.
I like it.
Likely give this 1 try. 1, 2 tiles through. That's 3. That's 4. Oh my goodness. Well, that's what I maybe need. And nothing in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that did not work out for Illus. That's unfortunate.
There's still 1 more hover that SuperNinTaylor has to do to get the final check, but does take the fall. Will he go back in for that? He will. It looks like Illus is heading up to Death Mountain now.
Yeah, I'll get his glove. Unfortunately, he's going to have to make his way towards Eastern. And SuperNinTaylor is not giving up.
Illus may just, because of the mix being here, may just dedicate himself to the Smith chain beforehand, which is going to put him behind, because even if that is something, that's a long time to do if you don't have the mirror.
Yeah.
SuperNinTaylor really dedicating himself to this. I do note, Swamp is a crystal here, so you will need a hookshot at some point.
He's putting on a show for us. That's what's important.
He's absolutely doing that, and he is getting across in the end, just for some bombs.
Wow. It was a very empty hookshot cave.
Yeah, we have to wait and see
Quake.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But was that one locked by the hookshot, or was that in the bonk chest?
It was locked behind the hookshot.
Oh, okay.
And Illus has picked up the mids, and he does have the spy cave access that we talked about earlier. Now again, if this is the bow, then he's going back into Eastern Pod definitely.
Yeah, Illus needs to find that bow if he wants to get ahead and get that mirror and put him back into contention. But just a bottle.
Yeah, bottle number 3. Sickid still hasn't been checked, but it's still just go there for one check.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, Illus might...
We found the bow.
Wow. This is not going Illus's way.
Everything just seems to be locked behind that mirror in Eastern Palace at this point. And it's just so unfortunate, because when you have a seed that gives you Dark Ball access in essentially Sphere 1, and then there's a Sphere 1 mirror located in Eastern Palace, I guess it's gonna be a last location for Illus.
Yeah, I didn't count the items in Pod, so Helmasaur might still have one, but Pod actually doesn't have any sort of progression. So the only thing the Pod in Eastern is going to give us is the crystals. Again, unless Helmasaur has something.
What is SuperNinTaylor planning here? It looked like he was going over to giving quips, and he's going to activate the flute. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Illus turned into that bottle, just a heart container.
Yeah, now he's gonna do the Smith chain without the mirror, which is going to be a lot of time down the drain. And meanwhile, just SuperNinTaylor, he looks like he's in a fantastic position here with the flute, with the bow, got the medallions, got the mirror, has so much he can check, so much he can do right now.
Yeah, so what are we looking for? We're looking for the flippers and the ice rod and the hook shot, I believe.
And Cane of Samara. And maybe bombos, and of course a sword upgrade. There's still a good amount of items.
Yeah, there's a lot there. So there's a lot of time that could be made up by Illus. It's not over by any stretch of the meat.
Well, he needs to get an item somewhere, but the thing is also, any progression item he gets right now may just lead him to not go into Eastern. Like if he gets flippers, he may just go into Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's true.
Now Ice Palace could have something, but you know, you're still going to Pen and Ice Palace.
Yeah, gotta get. You know what would be good for Illus is finding the hook shot. Because hook shot would give him access to the bow.
Yeah, so if the Smith chain has hook shot, that would basically be the best case scenario for him under these poor circumstances.
Of course, the hookshot might just be mirror locked as well.
Yeah, that's a real possibility. Well, SuperNinTaylor is going to make this full clear of pod. It's pretty obvious, straightforward play in his position since he has everything he needs for it. We'll do Eastern after this with the mirror.
Let's see what the Smiths give us. Just another hard container.
Yeah, these Smiths have not given Illus anything right now because he needs something else with those Smiths. So to me, this looks like he is just gonna go and pick up the purple chest. And then it's a G9 Eastern that's left for him.
So SuperNinTaylor are going to clear out pod again. We're not sure. Neither of us counted the items here. Helmasaur may have something, but you are going to get a crystal out of it. So, and then you can just mirror and finish Eastern Palace as well.
Yep.
And also find out the valuable information that there is some cash in Swamp.
Yeah, and I guess the only thing that's important about that hint is that it can't refer to left side Swamp. That's the only thing about it. So Illus will likely go a Genius Cave after the purple chest, and if he still has nothing, then he's last locationing his mirror in Eastern Palace. Well, not really last location because there's more chests deeper, but you know.
Right. It's his last area of checking items.
Well, there's the ice rod.
There you go. There's not gonna be an ice rod search today.
Yeah, and that is in logic, but SuperNinTaylor doesn't know about that yet, so that could be just a little bit of useful information for Illus. Just like the tiniest glimpse of light in this very dark, deep cave that he is in.
Yeah, I imagine SuperNinTaylor makes his way to the desert after this. And just 20 rupees in Agina's cave, so Illus going to have to make his way towards Eastern Palace now.
And just checking the mire area tends to be a very popular play. The second you get myths, flute, etc., just go there, check it, see the medallion, get the few checks that are there. If you have the mirror, go into desert, clear that, and you can clear desert.
While our runners are making checks the other ones have, we should just mention this is part of the ALTTPR League. We are in week 2, which is open mode between the teams, the last locationers, and Farami will do an interview if we win. You see the number next to their names. Those are the amount of points they have. You get 3 points for a win, 0 points for a loss, and 1 point for a tie. Farami will do an interview. It was 2-0 last week. The last locationers 0-2. After 6 weeks, we will have a playoffs where the top 3 teams of each division will be playing off for a championship, with the first team in each division getting a first round bye. So it's been a lot of really fun action so far in the first 2 weeks of the league here. The first week was standard. The second week, what we're in right now, is open. Next week, we're going to be moving over to inverted.
Oh yeah, it's been a fantastic tournament so far, and there we go, Illus Mirror. He's just leaving, doesn't want to deal with the rest. If there's something there, he feels like he's too far behind already.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he knows that he has to make some big calls at this point to get back. And meanwhile, SuperNinTaylor is just doing the very basic standard stuff. Do the medallion dungeons you can full clear. Crystal dungeons you can full clear, my bad.
So Illus needs to make sure he stops into Hera and gets that flute.
Yeah, I think at this point you're just setting yourself up, just check the first 2 locations and then leaving after that. That's all he needs to do. Go in, get those 2 items, get the hint, and then bail. But maybe there is something at the top and he feels like he has to go through with the cutscene, but
Yeah,
I
that's
can't see him doing that.
Yeah, it's when you're feeling behind, the last thing you want to do is the basement of Hera for a green pendant.
Yeah, if you're going through with this basement here, you are saying, Ped has something, I'm going for the Ped plate. He's not doing that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, SuperNinTaylor going to take on Helmasaur here.
We'll need 17 hits here. I mean, we haven't really talked all that much about SuperNinTaylor because there isn't really much to say for him at this point, because he's just going through checks that Illus has done and just clearing out these dungeons at a very good pace. Also, that final hitter with the hammer delayed it slightly to deny those fireballs from coming out.
Alright, so our tracker for today is MathGirl718. She's noting that Helmasaur will have an item.
That's a pretty important item.
Flippers, wow.
Yeah, so that mirror just locked the entire scene, really. But that was still a Sphere 1 mirror, so technically it didn't lock, but because of its location it did. Because that mirror could just as well been in Kakariko, and this would have been a completely different scene.
Yeah.
So now Ice Palace is in logic. If you want to be a crazy maniac, you can go for that.
I mean, they have half magic and the fire rod. They also have 12 hearts, red mail, so it's not the worst play.
But I do expect, check the medallion that you need for Meyer, go do Desert Palace, you can get your Ice Rod while you're there.
All right, Ice Palace is a pendant. Never mind that. That's a terrible idea.
Yep.
So Swamp is probably the better play, but we don't have the hook shot. Maybe the Desert Mire area would be my next go-to.
Indeed.
So yeah, we're still missing quite a few items.
Well, we know where the Ice Rod is, but we're still looking for Cane and Hookshot. And, of course, that sword. And maybe Bombos for Meyer. Now Illus will make up a little bit of time here because he's not gonna attempt the hovers, but that will only make up time if Quake is not needed for Meyer.
Yeah, that's right. So we know that if Meyer is needed for Quake, we're not gonna. Well, I guess we could find the hookshot in there. No, we couldn't find the hookshot in there. I keep forgetting it wasn't the bonkable chest in Hookshot Cave. It was actually Hookshot locked.
Yeah, you will logically need the hookshot in order to get Quake. Well, that solves the sword. Just everything behind those mirrors this game in very convenient locations. I mean, you can't complain by just basically getting all your progression at locations that you'll be checking anyway.
Yeah, the seed really wanted you to go to Eastern Palace, get that mirror, and then just unlock everything else. And SuperNinTaylor is going to make the play towards the Meyer Desert area. Can complete all of Desert. What do we need for Meyer? Bombos.
So the Quake is not needed. That's good news for Illus. But where will those bombos be? We will have a repeat of the ether, like just being here right next to it.
There's the cape. Did we check Bumper Ledge? I don't remember seeing anyone making their way that way to the Bumper Ledge, see if there was anything.
It was checked, but it was some junk, like 20 rupees or something. Nothing important. Maybe see SuperNinTaylor here head into a
Well,
Gina.
there you go. How about the Cane of Samaria right there? Right next to Misery Mire, though we still need to find that Bombos medallion.
Yeah, but they can pick up the Ice Rod here on the Desert Ledge and go full clear Turtle Rock. Now Illus will have to go back here and do Eastern Pod first, but all these items are still in very convenient locations for SuperNinTaylor, and that's bad news for Illus.
Yeah, so you clear desert, go to Turtle Rock, probably get your Bombos and Hookshot, and then you've got Mire and Swamp to finish up. That's the way the seed's been going.
Yeah, just get your basically Sphere 2 Darkworld access with Hammer and Mips, Moon Pearl and Mirror, and then just go from one dungeon to the next, and congratulations, you beat the seed. Also, don't forget to pick up the bow up on the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, the real divergence in this seed, the reason that SuperNinTaylor has the lead over Illus is he chose Eastern, Illus chose Pod.
Yeah, and then Illus made every other call except the Eastern. But I can't really blame him for going into Pod because it's deeper into the logic. Doesn't seem as unlikely as something being available in the early Eastern. And then you get the MIP, so you do the Smith Chain without the Mirror, which is also deeper into the logic than Eastern.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I even mentioned, I think Pod was the play. I mean, I was incorrect, but I probably would have done the same thing that Illus did. So desert's empty, just the crystal. We're getting the crystal from there.
So right now we're looking for the Hookshot and the Bombos. The Hookshot for Swamp and the Bombos for Mire. I could still be a very rough seed and decide to put those in locations that aren't named Desert and Turtle Rock, because then SuperNinTaylor has to go out of his way and likely check all these locations that Illus has already checked. He will be able to do it faster because he does have the mirror, but it's still a lot of time that will have to be spent on that.
Yeah, that's true.
So how many items have there been in Desert so far?
2. We got both items out of Desert. It was just like a heart piece and I think a single rupee.
Alright. Well, Illus is doing Almastar King here. I'm just feeling the Turtle Rock play at this point.
Oh, 100%.
So fantastic one cycle here for SuperNinTaylor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crystal. It's got 5 items. You got Mimic Cave. It's definitely calling your name.
And if that doesn't have anything, maybe you go back into Tower of Hera and clear that? Maybe?
Yeah, that seems not like the worst idea. It's still possible Ice could have something. The Ped could theoretically have Bombos. I'm not sure. Can it have Hookshot? I guess it depends on key layout in Ice Palace.
Yeah, that depends on the key layout in Ice Palace. It's quite rare for Hookshot not to be needed for that, but it could be. But at this point, there's no book. They're not gonna go and check that at this point.
I'm not sure what SuperNinTaylor was doing there.
Me neither. Something, I guess, but I guess you will be fluting to potions?
Gonna pick up a couple potions, yeah. The worst idea when you're going into Turtle Rock with just Master Sword.
Okay, so the map is in this chest. And then if he decides to go around, he's gonna get the compass. But he may feel like, I'm behind. Yeah, just skip that chest. If there's something there, I've already lost. I can't go through with that time. I have to take this 50-50. It's gonna work out, saving some time here.
Yeah, this is good for Illus. Making the calls. And SuperNinTaylor going to Ice Palace.
Oh my, this play could decide this seed. If there is nothing here, Illus is right back in it. Oh, the hookshot requires the big one.
Wow.
That's Meyer. That's hookshot Gomo then. Because Meyer is the second one, so this is hookshot Go mode. Where is Bombos?
So that, you know what, if I got that hint, that makes me immediately go back to Turtle Rock. You have more items. It's a crystal.
That's crazy. But Bombos can be anywhere. Absolutely anywhere.
Yeah, this is really an interesting play by SuperNinTaylor.
I mean, that's a great hint.
Yeah, getting that hint is huge.
Because he will just get the hookshot, or get the Bombos, go do Meyer, get the hookshot being Go mode. So unless Bombos is in Swamp, you can Go mode Swamp. It could also be like a potential for Go moding Turtle Rock, which isn't the best diamond to Go mode in terms of how many checks you have to do, but it means you don't have to re-climb the mountain, which is a pretty big deal.
A unique item is on the boss. Well, we saw Helmosaur King have flippers, so that could be that.
Yep. That's one of those really weird hints, because you don't know which boss it refers to.
Sure, yeah.
Seen Key Sanity, where the Ganon's Tower boss key is on a boss. Like, which boss is it? Of course it's on a pending boss. Why not?
Alright, Illus picking up his ice rod, gonna probably complete desert, and hopefully checks Checkerboard Cave and gets his Cane of Samaria.
So if he feels like he has to make a big call, he's likely gonna go into ice. Otherwise, it should be a beeline to Turtle Rock.
Yeah. That hint is really valuable. But you can get that really quick and then just take off. A unique item can be bought.
Well, everything's being purchased.
Oh, the boots.
Yeah, that was the boots hint. There's always a hint for the boots. It may not always be as direct as you may want it, but there is always a hint for it.
So we're just on the lookout for that Bombos medallion now.
Which could be anywhere, as stated. Because it doesn't lock anything, the seed. This is the more lucrative area of Ice Palace. 3 chests very close to one another. That is the final bottle.
I wonder, I mean, did SuperNinTaylor think this is a crystal? I'm not sure.
So someone in chat mentioned, since you can see if ice is hookshot locked or not, how good is this play really?
Yeah.
We'll see when we get to the iced tea room, because that's the 4th check that defines if it's hookshot locked or not.
He gets rewarded with the silvers.
Yeah, that's a big pickup.
Second item.
Silvers is basically what gave SuperNinTaylor his week 1 win. Because he could do Master Sword Silver Ganon over Master Sword Silverless. So logically, the seed still wants you to go here, because the logic always assumes that you will have silver arrows for Ganon.
Oh man, that was doubly bad miss bomb jump for SuperNinTaylor. Yeah. So now he's got to go the long way to check the iced tea room and then go back to do the big chest if iced tea doesn't have it. Or he's just going to go do Cold Stare.
That's an interesting call. Meanwhile, Illus down Down with the desert. Just go checkerboard K now. We'll get the King of Samaria.
And I imagine he makes his way towards Turtle Rock almost immediately.
Let's get this first spin into the corner. That's a very good opening for him.
Yeah, that was a really good cold stare fight, especially with Master Sword.
Truly a great fight, and Kane locked because of that small key.
So there's one more item. He does get his second pendant. Imagine he's going to make his way towards... Yeah, he just double-checked his map. I think he thought Ice Palace was a crystal.
Oh yeah, you may have a good point there. But still being rewarded with silvers, a very valuable hint about the logic of the seed. And I think Illus picks up this cane, and then they're both in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, pretty even at this point now. SuperNinTaylor does have those silver arrows.
Yeah, but he also has more overworld locations to check, contrast to Illus. But if the seed keeps on giving nothing, it's gonna put Illus further and further behind.
You know, if Bombos is still an Ice Palace, that actually could be good for Illus as well. Because I imagine SuperNinTaylor would make Ice Palace his very last check.
Yeah, and also SuperNinTaylor knows where the hookshot is. Knows that hookshot is the go mode item. So I think the very last spot he'll be checking the seed will be Swamp Palace for the hookshot. Or the bombos, I mean.
So if you're rooting for Illus, that Ice Palace play so far was really, really key in bringing him back into this. That knowledge of where the hookshot is, though, is very valuable for SuperNinTaylor.
Yeah, and the silvers cannot be understated for the Ganon fight, so there needs to be some more swords to try and bridge that gap. I don't think they've been there, so this is a good hint.
I missed it. What was the hint?
The big post above the post just have arrows.
Oh, okay. It was a good hint.
So I think they just completely abandoned that when everything else opened up with the mirror. Well, never mind.
There we go.
That's go mode for SuperNinTaylor indirectly.
So that Ice Palace dip actually was pretty for SuperNinTaylor.
Yeah, Illus has to do the big bomb immediately after this, but what's gonna be the case is that they're gonna be tied, and the problem then is that SuperNinTaylor will have silver arrows, so he is further ahead than it may seem.
Bombos just sitting right there. First chest of Turtle Rock. Pretty crazy.
Just what I said earlier, just get your Darkhold access, get your mirror, just go to the dungeons, and don't forget to pick up the bow on Death Mountain. So this is a seed where 2 pendant dungeons weren't needed, and you just have to visit the first floor of Tower of Hera just to get the flute.
Yeah, you could completely skip Ice Palace and Thieves Town.
And SuperNinTaylor will be able to skip Mimic Cave here, that's basically the only thing.
Yeah, that is time though that Illus doesn't have.
Yeah, it's not over until it's over, but SuperNinTaylor being ahead on the route, having silver arrows and having the knowledge of where the hookshot is puts him in a distinct advantage. Despite having to almost full clear Ice Palace. And this all comes down to that mirror location. Like, mentioned it a lot, but Illus last locationing the mirror over in Eastern Palace, doing the Smith Chain without the mirror, Aegena's Cave, yada yada yada. Back of Escape also, which, or not back of Escape, front of Escape, which still SuperNinTaylor hasn't done, just adds up. And Illus is also double dipping Palace of Darkness. SuperNinTaylor did that in one go.
Yeah, the only thing SuperNinTaylor is looking for now would be a sword upgrade, but he's not going to go out of his way to find that. He'll open the chests he needs to open, but he's not going to go out of his way to look for a sword. I mean, there's just really strong possibility that the sword, there's at least one sword in GT.
And normally you tend to just place your bet that there is always one sword somewhere in GT that you will easily be able to pick up. There's still a couple of convenient checks and nearby that may have that sword that you're looking for, like the waterfall chest in Swamp Palace.
Let's check in Mimic Cave. Not going to have anything too important. It's 20.
I mean,
our runners. Oh, go ahead.
I do continue. Oh, you continue.
Oh, the runners would be even going in here if that hint wasn't there. You know, SuperNinTaylor is really getting bailed out by that hint.
Yeah, and then the silver arrows to be able to clear everything faster in Ganon's tower and Ganon.
And first key of Laser Bridge. SuperNinTaylor is going to look at the other ones, though. Looking for that
like
sword.
A sword. There we go.
Rewarded.
Yeah, he's not gonna check anything extra, really. Illus is gonna get that sword as well, unless he really decides to forgo that, but he may start the bridge southwards and go north.
Yeah. I mean, he's still looking for that hook shot, so he's gonna check everything.
I mean, this has been a very kind seed, apart from that mirror, really.
Yeah, I mean, once you get that mirror, it literally just drew you a line to where everything else was.
Yeah, in that sense, despite how open it was early, it's definitely something I'd say is a linear seed, in that sense. Just go do your dungeons, and get that bow before you're doing it. But because you're already up on Death Mountain from getting your flute from Tower of Hera, chances are pretty high you're going over there anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you get to skip Ice Palace, you get to skip Thieves Town if you choose. And then you get to go mode Swamp and Misery Mire, not too bad. Nice Trinix fight by SuperNinTaylor there too.
Yeah, it was a really good fight for him. Illus also getting a very good phase 1.
So our other 5-6 is Misery Mire. So you head over to Misery Mire, run through that, hope for a God Mire, a big key, one of those first 2 chests, and Big Red Vomit, Swamp Palace, and we're on our way.
Yep, that's all that's left. You have half magic, tempered sword, silver arrows, your SuperNinTaylor here, invulnerability items, 3 bottles. You have everything you could ask for.
Yeah. I imagine Illus may following suit and heading over to Misery Mire as well. Again, if you're rooting for Illus, you want the big key to be in the very last location. It can be possibly like the cutscene chest.
Yeah, that is true. Or you just want the 2 items to come early and then the big key to show up. You don't really want the cutscene chest because that means you're spending a little bit of time to check that hint.
Yep. And thanks for that subscription for 18 months, Christopher Walken. Appreciate it. All right, first chest is a key.
Yeah, SuperNinTaylor just went straight to that chest, hoping for the absolute fastest mire, just forgo this chest that he is checking now, which is otherwise typically the first chest you get.
We found our book.
That's not good for Illus.
No, it's not. Just more checks.
Yeah, just more checks. Well, he could still make the call after this, just to go ahead and do the bomb, which will put him in go mode. But we're still talking about that silver advantage and time advantage for SuperNinTaylor.
Yeah. Alright, there's the compass.
So 1 item and a compass and a small key so far.
What Illus needs is it to be the cutscene chest, and that cutscene hint be the same hint as the one in Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I mean, highly unlikely, but a possibility.
It's happened before. Could happen again.
That's true, yeah.
Thing is, if we're gonna base SuperNinTaylor's Ice Palace play on him mismarking on his tracker, the fact that this still worked out so well for him, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is.
This is also a good showcase of just how much time is spent. Well, there's second item. How much time is spent doing the Smith chain without the mirror. It takes forever.
Yeah, it takes. You never want to do the Smith chain, honestly, but without the mirror, just makes it that much slower.
Well, Illus may opt to just forego that chest entirely because he got the key, and when you're here, this just sets you up for the boss. So the question is whether or not he comes back in after.
If he's feeling behind, I imagine skipping it.
Well, SuperNinTaylor will have a much faster fight here, though, with those silver arrows.
Yeah. Illus with the tempered sword and NMG strats could make it pretty quick as well. So Illus needs to complete this dungeon and go do the big red bomb. If he does that, I mean, he's still in. It would come down to GT routing and execution.
Illus are trying for Spooky, but doesn't get it. Or maybe he did? I don't know, that looked weird.
He did get it.
I fully understand how Spooky works.
I know how it's done. I don't know why exactly, but it worked.
I just leave the explanations to those who know what they're talking about.
Right, yeah. Alright, Illus. Yeah, this should be a pretty quick fight still. Not as quick as what SuperNinTaylor is going to do, but...
Yeah, you just see how much faster SuperNinTaylor managed to clear that. Now Illus is a menu ahead here. He already has the mirror out.
All right, so let's see if Illus makes the play. If you're rooting for Illus, you don't want to see him go back in, and it looks like he's not going to with the mirror already selected.
There's no reason otherwise, but here's the question. Where would you go? He needs to flew to the house. SuperNinTaylor is doing that for sure. He knows where the item is. Illus is doing the same. We may have a race here.
This is good.
But silvers will make such a big difference, but... well, it certainly has changed.
He's making it away.
This is an interesting 1 hour, 16 minutes sync that we're having here. Incredible.
We've got ourselves a race, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god. Okay, will we see the dupe here from either of our players that you can do to essentially allow to dash? We do see SuperNinTaylor here. You take the damage and then you can dash, because the game works a little bit funky in that way. So Illus is setting up, and so is SuperNinTaylor.
Alright, Illus got it.
Oh, SuperNinTaylor, did he get it?
Oh, he did. Oh, wow.
He salvaged that. It didn't quite look like he was gonna get it.
Wow, Illus just with the right call. Gonna pick up his hook shot.
Yeah. He just leaves, not gonna check the other one. Just doesn't care about silvers or anything at all.
Alright, we're in go mode. So Illus gonna flute over, and it looks like... Oh no, SuperNinTaylor is gonna do the same.
I was gonna ask, which is faster? I presume fluting.
Yeah, fluting's gotta be faster.
Yeah. Okay, so go mode swamp into Ganon's tower. SuperNinTaylor having the silver arrow advantage. Except for that, they are completely tied here.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna come down to GT routing. It's gonna come down to... It could come down to those silver.
Yeah, if Illus gets the better GT route, he may get enough of a time edge that the silver arrows won't matter.
You know, and also execution. Who's going to execute through Swamp and GT better? Both of these runners have really good execution, so this is a good one. This is going to be a really good one.
And also, how many outer locations will they check? Will they check this chest here behind the bomb early in Swamp? Will they go for some additional checks in Ganon's tower?
Yeah, Illus just needs to go.
Yeah, it's just going. And SMT not too far behind.
I can't believe after all of that we're a room apart.
I mean, Illus just got the route down in the end. Just went where he had to go, and SuperNinTaylor spent all that time in ice. Imagine if Ice Palace didn't have silver arrows in this situation.
Yeah. We'll see if Illus does make any extra checks, maybe like the flooded room or something.
I don't really know if an added sword here would help all that much for either player. You still need the same number of spins in phase 4, regardless of you have tier 3 or tier 4 sword. Little enemy there being annoying for SuperNinTaylor, can't just dash through the room.
And And Illus24 going every check. He's gonna make his way right to the boss. He's not looking for silver arrows at all.
He ignores absolutely everything at this point. And SuperNinTaylor as well. See how these Argus fights will go. There's no need for any menu straps here, so...
Yeah, this could make up time as well if you have a really good Argus, or make up any time or lose time if you have a good or better Argus.
Oh, SuperNinTaylor here gets the dash for the first couple of them and still managed to get the setup again. We'll have a... Oh, okay, there's still a faster phase one, making up some time.
All right, and Illus actually going to pick up his crystal first, so we're going to go off of his
arrow.
Oh man, this is not going well for SuperNinTaylor. That lost some time there. All right, so we're going to start the big key guessing game. If you are a sub to any of the Speed Gaming channels or have donated a total of 250 bits, you are eligible to enter. There's 22 different locations that the Ganon Tower Big Key can be in. Get your guesses in now, and we will stop it as soon as Illus enters Ganon's Tower. That was not, that we talk about execution here. The execution is very important with a race as close as it is, and
yes, indeed, that is definitely the case. And just for clarity here, because Illus is almost certainly going to be the first one to enter Ganon's Tower here, we will go by his chess for the big key guessing game.
What number do you like to guess?
Just let Bob die, please. I guess that's 3 normally, but sometimes it's 7.
I'm going to go with Bob's chest.
Oh, you... Okay, it's on. There are definitely some different routes you can take here in Ganon's Tower. Full left, full right. The 2 chests on the right and then go left, which is the old standard. Nowadays the standard is just go full right. You can go deep full right, which is that you basically continue and then you do ice armors after the chests on the right. Very rarely seen though.
Let's see how much time difference there is between entering GT for Illus and SuperNinTaylor. All right, 54 is when he enters, and
full left.
We are stopping the kid guessing big key guessing game.
Oh!
How about a number 1?
Right now. If he goes full right, there's a big time edge for Illus.
Wow.
Where's your going right?
SuperNinTaylor goes right.
But there needs to be a small key here for him to continue to go right. So for him, there must not be a small key in this second chest.
Oh, there is.
He's going right.
All right. So the winner of the big key guessing game was PA Fuzzy with the correct answer of 1. Good job. You have been added to the league leader. And you are... This is an amazing race, everyone. This is incredible.
It's still not over, though. It's still not over. This is what we say. It is not over until it is actually over, because we were counting Illus out completely earlier on because of that mirror last location. But look at this now. NinTaylor's going to open these 4 chests here. And then likely mirror out following this. But Illus has a big edge on this gauntlet. Okay, he needs to pick up the key here. Well, these are definitely some room advantages that Illus will have, but this question is still, is this enough time? Is this enough time for him to have over silver?
And SuperNinTaylor picking up that second key.
Look at Illus' health countdown, 4.5 hearts. Has to be careful here.
I don't think he has any safeties either.
Does have the invulnerability items. And he does have a fairy. He did pick up a fairy. The Spy Cave had a fairy.
Alright, Landmo 2 down. SuperNinTaylor just about to enter the gauntlet.
That's a 2 cycle for Illus. See if SuperNinTaylor can save some time on that. Oh, that fairy is dodging away. Would have been a fantastic pickup for him. Skipping the heart there right next to it. He doesn't care. He's just full on going here. SuperNinTaylor is not too far behind though, going through the gauntlet.
Yeah, it's hard to watch both at the same time. This is so close. SuperNinTaylor about 4 rooms behind, 5 rooms behind.
May come down to, can he get a 1 cycle and Molus here? That'd be great. Yeah, the Aga patterns are very important. Oh, he gets the 1 cycle and Molus, gonna make up some time here.
That is gonna make up a little bit of time.
Illus needs to pick up the magic here. And Moldorm needs to behave. Moldorm behaved.
Yeah, nice Moldorm 2 for Illus there. SuperNinTaylor through the gauntlet. Illus hoping for some silver arrows at that last chest. Gets just a couple more.
Possibly even like, I don't think we've seen Sankart, but that would also be very helpful. I mean, like a bottle or anything like that. Well, this is Aga 2 enough for Illus. SuperNinTaylor climbing to the 2nd highest floor. Oh, this pattern is rough.
Gets a double though.
That's pretty exciting actually. Very surprised to be able to get a double there in that pattern.
A single there.
Was barely not getting the slash there.
3 singles back to back.
Okay, this pattern's a bit better. But it's quite late in the overall fight.
The time to be made up on that Aga 2 fight.
So I think that was a slightly worse Moldorm 2 for SuperNinTaylor. Oh dear. SuperNinTaylor soon coming up here on the Aga 2 fight. Illus entering the Ganon fight. 4 hearts with a fairy. That's all he has.
Alright, Ganon, how are we going to do this? Is he going to be able to 1 cycle the first phase? Takes a hit.
We'll need the 2 cycle for that. Wait, did SuperNinTaylor only hit 1 or none in that first?
It looks like 1 and then 2, and then Illus takes a death there. Again, going to cost a little bit of time, and that was a pretty fast Aga 2 for
that was definitely faster.
So he made up time on his Moldorm 2 and Aga 2. And, excuse me, his Landmo 2. Alright.
Oh,
and
it was
still
1 cycle.
In phase 2, yep.
Oh, he did not want the hookshot to go there.
Oh,
no.
Oh, another round of phase 2 as well.
SuperNinTaylor is now entering the fight. Illus is not happy at all with how this fight has gone for him.
Alright, on to phase 3. There's time to be made up.
The fight. Oh, he gets the nice spin there. It's already in phase 2. Much faster here for SuperNinTaylor. He does have this blue potion, does have the cape, can be much more liberal with his magic usage.
Not able to one cycle phase 2 though, as well.
There's a lot of teleportations here for Illus. But SuperNinTaylor is now in phase 3.
Let's get the torch glitch. This is important. He doesn't have silver arrows. Gonna need 12 spins.
1. SuperNinTaylor is soon in the phase. It's 2. It's 3. SuperNinTaylor is soon in there. Oh, he gets hit by the fire!
Alright, third of the way through.
Oh, this is incredibly close at this point. SuperNinTaylor will now be able to get this first silver in. If SuperNinTaylor gets a triple here, it needs to be over.
Taking some damage.
Why did that torch not light? Why did it not light? They're both on 1 heart!
Oh no.
Oh, it almost looked like SuperNinTaylor was going to fall.
There's a triple.
Wait, what? They're both dead. Wait, this is what? If this is within 2 seconds, this will be a tie. We may have to do an actual countdown on the timer once we get to check this. I can't believe the outcome of this race.
Illus goes through. SuperNinTaylor goes through. All right, let's get some official times here.
Illus is first with 1 hour 31 minutes 18 seconds. SuperNinTaylor second, 1 second behind. But as per the rules, within 2 seconds means that it's a tie, correct?
We have a tie.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
I mean, I wish I had words to describe what just happened, but I can't believe it.
I'm in shock. Neither one of them had the best Ganon fight. I'll say that. They each made time for the other to catch up. It was fast. It was furious. That was insane. Let's see if we can talk to them. All right, we're joined now by both Illus and SuperNinTaylor. GG's, guys.
Hello, thank you.
Hey, GG.
Well, we have our first league tie. You both are awarded 1 point for this race. Thoughts? Let's just. I mean, we're still in shock from just seeing those 2 Ganon fights. What are you guys' thought?
Yeah, I totally could have done better. My phase 2 Ganon was a free cycle, and but I saw on the restream that SuperNinTaylor messed up a bit as well. So I guess we're even.
Yeah, that's probably the single worst feeling you can get from racing is lose. Well, it's a tie. I didn't lose, but not winning a race because you messed up Ganon. That's like the worst feeling ever.
I can relate.
Yeah. So yeah, I went in for a slash and I walked too close to Ganon, took a hit from a bat, and that just messed up my whole timing. So I wasn't really able to recover from there.
What? Okay, so let's start here. SuperNinTaylor, what were you thinking as far as Ice Patlas goes? Did you?
Oh, I'm done.
We're thinking you mismarked it, or did you think it was?
No, I forgot to mark it as a pendant, and I didn't pay attention to the music, the dungeon music, I guess. And then the pendant dropped. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, you got the map check afterwards, so it felt like that must have been the mistake. Was you just didn't? You went there thinking that it was a crystal. You did get bailed out with that hint.
Yeah, that hint did. That was like, I thought about it. I was like, maybe that hint will help me, and maybe he'll like search Swamp Palace for the hook shot or something.
I was about to after the Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah. But yeah, I felt pretty bad about my position after that pendant dropped.
Yeah, if you had gone straight to Turtle Rock, this race was not going to be close at all. But that Ice Pass play ended up allowing Illus to catch up. The big divergence for you two was you both headed towards the eastern area. SuperNinTaylor, you did eastern, and Illus, you did pod. So that sort of changed everything.
Stupid Mirror. Mirror is usually in pod, but this time it was in its retarded little brother.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have the mirror at the time, so I figured I'd do Eastern. And maybe if it's not there, just go grab the portal.
I didn't really want to do Eastern because with how the randomizer works, it usually brings progression in further spots, and so I figured that I'd have a better chance with Pod.
Right.
But Pod was completely empty. I should have known better.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest pod. No, I think didn't Helmet have flippers or something like that?
Yeah,
Oh,
Helmet.
yeah, it had. But at that point in time, Pod was empty for me because I
Yeah.
had no bow.
And it did seem like, apart from that little bit out of the way mirror, it was a pretty straightforward seed. Just one dungeon and then the next dungeon, and then it just continued like that.
I felt like after the mirror, I absolutely got routed. I skipped the chests I needed to skip, and I went to the places I needed to go immediately, and it all came together, and I think you couldn't have done that any better really afterwards, but before finding the mirror, it was just a catastrophe, man.
Yeah.
So a tie, I mean, I'm sure you guys aren't feeling great about a tie, but it is still points on the board for your team.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy it was an epic race.
Yeah.
Close
For
races
us.
are always fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for us,
having
it was
fun
pretty
is the
intense.
most important thing. I had fun with this race, I think, even though I felt miserable in the first half. But in general, I think it was pretty nice, and yeah, it has a
As long
moment
as I can just ignore the little small personal errors I made in the race. Overall, I'm pretty excited with the result, how it played out. I'm sure the viewers enjoyed how it ended.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about the league and your position and going forward?
I feel like my team is in a pretty good spot to advance to the next stage. What do we got? 7 points, I think, now.
Yep.
Yeah, for us this is gonna be our first point, but to be honest, I'm not really worried because I know that we all on the team are really skilled, and I think we had the possibly toughest opponents until now, so I'm not too worried going forward.
Yeah, you guys got a pretty strong team, so I expect good results.
Yeah, same about your team, man.
And there's the Kyong versus Goomba between your two teams later today at 9 p.m. EST.
Yeah, that should be I'll have to tune in for that one too.
Yeah, I'll be on Speed Gaming 2 tonight at 9:30.
Ah, that's so late. I'll try to watch that, but
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just catch the VODs or later on when they're uploaded to the Speed Gaming YouTube channel, which you can also subscribe to.
Well, Ellis, you had to last location that mirror just because your name is the last location. You gotta keep that going.
Yeah, I lived up to our team name and I didn't lose, so I guess that's a success, right?
Oh, how about those boots though? That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I guess it made things a little faster, but I personally don't really need the boots, so...
Oh man, you got him over a minute earlier than me. No wonder you won.
Oh my.
Got him like a minute and 20 or something. Is that what it was? A minute 20? I can't remember. Before me.
Except for the Tower of Hera, which had the flute, the other two pendant dungeons didn't really have much. You did get the silvers, I guess, nice balance, but no sort of progression.
No, there might have been something interesting in there, like powder maybe, but I failed my bomb jump and I was like, screw this.
What were you guys thinking as far as like clearing out? Because you guys both cleared out Thieves Town pretty early on.
Yeah. I don't know. I wanted to be thorough, I guess.
I felt like I didn't really have a good play at that time, so I wanted to clear the back of the Eastern as well. Like, yeah, sure, there was still the Eastern area, but if we had Dark World access, there had to be something possibly in there, right? That's also the reason why I went into pod.
Oh, looking at my inventory. Those 2 blue potions. If only I didn't go buy those. There's another reason I lost.
If only I had bought potions, then I wouldn't have that fairy revival at Ganon. I'm not sure if that's really faster.
If only I didn't bonk those few times there.
Yeah, you guys are gonna watch back the VOD and you'll see areas where you were like, if only I did that.
Yeah.
Well, that's always the case. Sometimes the seed rewards you for good plays, sometimes the seed rewards you for dumb plays. It really just depends.
Well, any last thoughts about the seed or the league in general before we wrap it up here?
No, I'm having fun so far. Looking forward to future matches. Looking forward to hopefully the bracket stage.
Yeah, kind of the same. League's working out pretty well so far, and you did a pretty good job here. I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to playing next week.
Yeah, we get to do Inverted next week. Do you guys know who's playing for your teams for Inverted? And then we get co-op after that.
I'm not sure yet. I might throw my. I might give the Inverted a shot.
For us, it was planned that me and Drake are going to do it, but Drake may have reasons to not play, so maybe it's Goomba, but I'll definitely play.
Yeah, we don't have any solid plans yet, but I'm kind of interested in playing the Inverted. I don't play a lot of Inverted, but I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I also wanted to thank you guys for commentating and checking and all that stuff. I'm sure there have been some last-minute plans to be made to make this commentary happen, and I'm grateful.
Thank you for giving us that roller coaster of a game.
Yeah, that was, for us, it was a real blast to watch and commentate. I mean, the last 10 minutes, 12 minutes of the race was really intense. And you can't complain about it. Number 1, Ganon Tower, Big Key. Well, I guess for SuperNinTaylor, you went right instead.
Oh yeah, there's another reason I lost. What the heck?
Did you get the 1 cycle land mode too? And Illus got 2 cycle.
That's right.
I wanted to save my magic. I should have bought potions, right?
I had that fairy.
Oh yeah, that bottom right torch. I saw people asking about that. Yeah, that was quite unfortunate. I think I was too close to the torch, and the fire rod hitbox kind of. I think it's a little bit away from Link, because I was hugging the torch. It didn't hit the torch. I should have backed away a little bit from the torch. I wasn't thinking about that though. I don't usually see that. Yeah, that's weird.
Well, thank you guys for the race. That was a blast for us. It really was.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we're gonna wrap this up here. We've got a couple things coming up on Speed Gaming later today at 2 p.m. There is an Inverted daily race. So check that out on the same channel here on Speed Gaming. And then for the league, we've got the rematch, I guess, or game 2 of these 2 teams. The Last Locationers and Furry will do an interview if we win between Hyung and Goomba at 9 p.m. on Speed Gaming 2. And then there's a whole slew of stuff going on in Speed Gaming, so make sure you check them out and make sure you follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6 so you can never miss any of the. We also have the ALTTPR League website, which is ALTTPRleague.com, and join our Discord. Get all the information there if you want to participate and commentate or track or follow along with these teams. You can do that there.
Also, thank you to Math Girl for doing the tracking behind the scenes. I think that about wraps it all out. So with all said and done, I've been Marjevic.
I'm Fear Agent.
We hope to see you all in the not too distant future.